Hello and welcome. My name is Lynda Phippen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. I'm so glad you dropped by today. I have been working on a number of cards this week. I hope you enjoy them, and I'm not quite sure what to call them. Spinner card, floater card. Anyway, it was fun and it looks amazing. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. I want to work on a concept today. It's a spinner card or floating card. It is a lot of fun, and you can do this with so many stamp sets. And I am going to show you how I did this one. This particular stamp set is called Perched in a Tree, and it's a really cute bird. But of course it comes in a stamp only facing one way, so you really need to figure out how to get this image so that it would go together, so when it turns it's the same on both sides. So it is an easy solution, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So when you stamp the stamp itself, you just, of course, give it a nice press, and that's a great image. But because we want the other side of the image, we're just going to do a stamp, and I have a piece of silicone. You do need to have something that will transfer the image for you. So there it is. Turn your image over, and you have created a mirror image of your stamp. And of course you can do this with any stamp. So let me lift that off, and there it is. You wouldn't know the difference. So you can just wipe that off and use it over and over and over again. So that's how I created a mirror image of the stamp. So I'm just going to show you some watercolor techniques for this bird, and it is really very, very simple. So I'm using colored pencils, Night of Navy. So if you put the dark part of your coloring to one side, and you take a water brush, and you can move that color and it will get lighter, like the pros. And if your coloring isn't quite smooth, you can just use the watercolor to move it around. So I just did the tail, and then I can color in some of the places that I missed. Then the water will take the color and move it around for you. So there is the top part of the little bird, and this is Melon Mambo, and I'm going to put the color close to his wing underneath, so it's a bit of a shadow. And you can always add more color, but you can't take it away. So the best thing to do is just to do a little bit, and that's exactly what I want. I do want to get rid of that little mess that I made there. See how easy that is? And then I wanted to just give a tiny bit of coloring on his chest. So not very much. And there we go. So how easy is that? Very easy. So now we're just going to let those guys dry. And I'm going to show you, oh, the other thing I did was the feet just need a little bit of, I kind of filled them in with black, just so they don't get lost when we're putting it all together. Okay. So to get the string, it is just the twine that we have, and if you can separate it, because you just need a little thin piece. Now I did, when I was doing this, I used two-sided tape because I really don't want the bird to be moving, and I just want to make sure that I get him in a good position. So give it a good push on there, and then your string will go right on there. And I put in an extra piece of double-sided tape to sandwich it between the two pieces of paper, so it kind of sticks upon itself. There we go. Then just line up your little bird, and we can add a little extra glue here because the whole thing really does need to go together. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Put a little glue on his feet. Put those together. And I noticed I missed a little bit of his beak, so you know what, we'll just color that in. Nothing that cannot be fixed. Well, that's not where that goes. Okay. Just a little bit here. Okay, now I took the Mary Mallow and made a frame of white. So you take two different sizes of two dies, and I'm going to show you different shapes that you get the same result. Okay, so the smaller square cuts the window, and then you layer it one on top of the other, and then you get a frame. So that's what I've done for the frame, and I'm using strips of foam adhesive to put the frame. I tried to use our dimensionals, but they were a little too thick, and then I was cutting them and it was getting stuck in my scissors. So this is what I came up with, and this is much better anyway. So there's your frame. Now you need your frame because we want to be covering up the string. Okay, so get him in there so he fits. Gets his claw out of the way here. Okay, didn't quite get that straight, did I? Okay, so if you don't get it straight, you just trim his little tail so that he fits a little better. Perfect. Okay, again, I use double-sided tape, and I used a glue dot. So we'll put, oh no, you need to put that back. Put it back. So put the glue dot on first. That's what we need to do. So however you figure out how to get the string to stay, and we're trying not to get it loosened. Okay, so I've got move that over. Okay, so we've got a glue dot and double-sided tape, and you might want to just trim it a little bit, but it should be okay. Now that just gives it extra holding power. Just don't want it to come off. Okay. Now you can take that off. Come on. Okay. Now the double-sided foam is on our frame. So we'll take this off and line it up, and it will cover up the string attachment part. You don't want it to be put down until you've got it all straight. There, I think we did it. Okay, so there it is. Now you can easily just trim the string on both sides, but it gives you lots of room to be playing with the string. Okay, so there he is, able to turn. Again, he might need to have a little bit more of his tail trimmed, which is easy enough. And you don't really want to do that to have it come off. Okay, we've got that on there. The next thing I did was, there is an amazing die that comes with this set. But because we have a window, we don't want to cover up the window. So I just cut the die itself, gave it a little trim. So then you have all of these amazing birch trees. And then you can really decide to use whatever you wish. Okay, let's put this on this side. And don't worry about it hanging over, because as you work with this, we're going to give it a little trim later. And you want some up at the top. And then a few more at the bottom. So there's no right and wrong way to do this. So glue them all down. After you get them glued, then you can trim them. So I'll just show you how I did this. That one looks like it's going to be in the way. You can tuck it just gently underneath the frame. There we go. Then we're just going to trim it, and I turned it over so that you can see exactly where the card itself is. I'll leave that one for a second, and we'll do the bottom pieces. And just give it a little more trim so you can get it nice and close. Then there is a bit of a bush that goes with this as well. So I just stuck them on the top of these two trees. And again, we're going to trim them. Okay, bit of a mess I'm making here. Okay, I have my sentiment, Let Heaven and Nature Sing. That is a Christmas carol. Okay, so I put that centered on there, and that's white embossing powder. Don't forget to use your little anti-static on there so that your embossing powder doesn't get over everything. So this is called, oh, just a second, I think I know this by now, Snowflake Specialty Vellum. And I wanted to have a little piece behind there that looked like snow. So I did that with our seal. Just wanted to make sure that it gets in the window. And then in order to write your sentiment, you can put a little piece of white down. And that is our spinner floating card, and I put that up too high. Get it quick before it dries. And isn't that neat? And even when you display it, it's going to just hang there. So that is our first card. And I put on some gems, just some clear ones to look a little snowy. And that is card number 1. And here's a card with the round frame that you can do. And I used the snowflake, but I did have to trim the edges, just these little pointy ones, just to get it in there. But it is the same idea, that it will spin. It's really, really cute. And then I did an oval for you so that you could see that you can do that as well. It's all the same concept, with the string through 2 pieces, double layer just to be able to cover the string, and it is just a lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards. I had fun putting them together, and it is going to be Christmas before you know it. So I hope you enjoy these ideas. Thank you kindly for dropping by, for your kind comments, and for subscribing. It's awesome. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.